Hello, welcome back. This is Caslin and Always Acting Up. This is a podcast where I will be sharing all of my personal journeys and stories as an actress in the entertainment industry. This episode, I have two very special guests, and we're going to talk about the people who are reading the auditions with you, your reader. But before we get into those stories, I want to give a shout out to you guys who have been following along on the podcast, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, this all could not be possible without my producer, Hisani Johnson. Perfect. So let me introduce you to my two guests. Coming back to the podcast, I have from episode numero 2 of Always Acting Up, the Boohoo Dancing Blues, actress and dancer and creator of her very own web series, Bitter Party of One, Lori Huff. Hi, Lori.
Hi. Yes, my web series is Bitter Party of One. That is moi. Young divorcee here. Gotta be bitter about my marriage, my failed marriage.
It's okay. Plenty of fish in the sea, and I'm sorry, I'll learn how to talk eventually. And then, of course, my other special guest, I'm super excited to have her here today. She is an actress, and we were all in the same dance company, actually. Shannon, I guess I can call you by your married name, Shannon Moya Smith.
Oh, thank you. Hey, but my stage name is still Shannon Fryer, so that's what I am on IMDb and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking like, oh my God, what do I call her? What do I call her?
Yeah, dude, when you get married, you have total like crisis of like, who am I? What am I?
Well,
yeah, when I'm acting and dancing, I'm still Shannon Fryer, so don't worry about it.
Awesome. And I wanted to give a little note that Shannon had an appearance in Ocean's 8, The Greatest Showman, Water for Elephants. So if you guys are watching those movies, make sure to be on the lookout for this gal over here.
Look for me.
Yay, we will. And actually, I was curious because I know Lori's dancing still. Are you dancing at all? Like, I know, like in the house and stuff.
I'm not really dancing other than in my living room, grooving out to my Zumba workouts and all that good stuff. But, I can't help but do those belly dancing moves we learned all those years ago together when I hear some music.
I know. It's so funny. Like, every so often I'll hear some drums and like the finger cymbals, and I'm like, ooh, start shimmying and doing all these like fun dance moves. I think once you learn how to do these moves, like it just happens. Like you just can't stop.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So I know you two are actors, and I'm sure you have plenty of stories. I have to, if you guys are watching on the YouTube video, Shannon's cat keeps walking in front of the picture.
She's driving me crazy.
So if you ever see me pausing, I'm just watching what her cat is doing.
Just my cat. She just keeps coming over and asking for treats. It's very exciting.
Hey, I like treats too. I don't blame her.
Yeah, and I have my 2-year-old hiding in the bedroom like watching a movie. So yeah.
I was wondering. I was curious. I was like, I wonder if we're going to have an appearance by her daughter or not, but
you may. You never know. It's a crapshoot when you've got a 2-year-old running around.
I don't even know what that's like, but I believe you. So I wanted to talk. I made a post the other day, and I was looking for people who also had crazy audition stories about their reader, and I know you guys have a really crazy story, and I don't know what it's about. All I know is it has the word fart involved, and because I love potty humor, I can't wait to hear this story. So that's gonna be coming up soon, and I have to tell you guys what inspired this crazy story that I'm about to tell you, like why I wanted to share. Because I think it's really crazy, and like I don't know if this has happened to you before, but like a lot of times you go to these auditions and there's a reader in the room, and either the reader is the casting director or the casting assistant, or a lot of the times it's other actors who are wanting to kind of be involved with the casting process of some sort and just sort of know what it's like behind the scenes. And so Lori's from Vegas, so she, has spent some time in Vegas before. And so, like it's a really small community here. You run into the same people all the time. You can be on set, and then you go to another set, and then you go to another set. And you're like, oh, I've seen you on all of these sets before. And so I go to this audition, and I want to say this was like a year or so ago. And walking into the room, I see, we'll just, for story's sake, call him Josh. Okay, we'll just call him Josh. And so I see this guy, Josh, walking in the room, and I thought, oh, God, like, I'll be friendly. We've had like a little bit of like a history, like a past. Like he's, for whatever reason, said some really, really snarky ass things to me before. Like one time he was like, yeah, so you and your rich husband. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, first of all, I'm not married. And second of all, I love him, but he's not rich. You know, I don't know where you're getting off on these like ideas. And I think we had a really bad start with him and I because like, we're not talking like romantic relationship or anything like that. We're just talking about like work and professional relationship. We had worked on an Enrique Iglesias music video, which y'all know I'm like obsessed with. And I was doing background, which I don't typically do background, but I was like, for Enrique, like, yo, I'll fucking do catering. Like, I don't care. I need to be on this set. And so we connected, and he starts messaging me on Facebook, Instagram, and he's like, hey, you want to go out? Want to go to the bar? And I'm like, no, not really. No, I don't. And he keeps talking to me and talking to me and talking to me. And then I get a text message from my friend, and she's like, yo, this guy's like really creeping me out. Remember this guy we met on set? And I was like, wait a minute, what? And she sent me a screenshot, and he was having the exact same conversation with both of us at the same time. And he didn't even know that we were talking, but I was like, whoa, like he's literally like verbatim. It was the exact same conversation. And so Josh has a reputation apparently of doing this because he had done this to my boyfriend and his film partner before. The same conversation, and they were sitting right next to each other, and he's talking to both of them at the same time. So Josh has this like reputation. And so I'm going to this audition, and like, you know, like we spend a lot of time preparing for auditions and getting ready, and we want to like have it the best we can do. So I see him walking in. I'm like, okay, like whatever. Let's just say hi and be nice and smile. And then we go in there, and in the room, there's like one person on this side. There's a couple over here, and then he's on the other wall. Start reading the sides, just kind of relaxing, getting ready. And then someone from the audition room comes out and was like, okay, we're going to be pairing you guys up, and you're going to be reading together. And at that moment, I was like, oh man, like he walked in right before me. It's going to be me and him. No, I know he's going to do some shenanigans. And so I actually thought to myself, like, well, this couple, like, they're like an actual couple. They're not going to volunteer to go with me because why would they do that? So I actually like go outside of the room thinking like I like actually like out of the building thinking that there's going to be some other chick who's going to walk in and like maybe I'll just go afterwards and very like I was trying to just avoid him. I'm not going to lie. I was trying to avoid him. And eventually someone comes out and they're like, Caslin, is Caslin here? And I'm like, oh, okay. Like crap. Like I have to go. And so yes, we were paired together for this audition. And it was interesting because we did the scene on camera together, and then she goes, okay, now we're going to have you guys go one at a time, and one of you guys is going to go behind camera and read to the other person. So, you know, like I went behind camera and I read for him, and I was his reader. And I read from my script, and I did a really great job. Then he goes behind camera to be my reader, and I know he had like decent intentions, I think. But anyways, he starts reading, and all of a sudden I see him put the paper down, the sides down, and he starts reading, and we're doing this audition, and then he starts friggin' like going off book, and he's skipping lines, and I'm in front of the camera like, what are we doing? And I completely like lost track because dude, you're my reader. Like, you're supposed to be on your paper. This is not an opportunity for you to showcase how great you are and how memorized. And I was so frustrated because I was like, dude, you just blew my audition. And I know you're probably thinking like, yeah, well, you should have improv, but like, you're not expecting your reader who has the paper right there to start skipping lines, because he actually was skipping lines, and I actually kind of lost it, and I looked down at my paper and was like, where are we?
Well, and also it's one thing if the casting director says, please feel free to improv, and you're kind of ready for that. But as an actor, it's not your call to improv unless they say you can improv.
Right. And it was like, broski, like, I get, so what he was trying to do, he was trying to like give me a lot of like things to work with, but I was like, well, what I really need is for you to put your eyes down on the paper and read the damn lines. And I don't know if this is one of those like, well, you should have done this, you should have done, I was really, really frustrated.
Did you get the job?
No. And
I was gonna say, that would be really awesome, like if you still managed to get it on top of that.
Well, like, you know what? It was one of those where, like, you put a lot of time into it. There was, like, a huge chunk of, like, a monologue. So I was like, you know, I've put a lot of work into this, and I feel good about it. And to be honest, like, I don't even think the casting director, I believe she was actually the producer of the film. I don't even think she realized it. She probably just thought I was joking or something. But I did end up seeing that project, and the person who got that role was, like, completely different than me. So, like, it was never going to be my role anyways.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't believe that Josh decided he was just gonna like do whatever he wanted. Like,
it almost sounds like a situation where, especially since he was another actor and had already gone, that he was maybe almost trying to like take it as another take for himself and show something different for him, and didn't care about you at all.
Sabotage.
Yeah, total. Or just like selfishness in the scene. It's like, it's his spotlight, even though he's not in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was super, super frustrating to me. So I don't know if you guys have experienced that before, but that was a really frustrating story for me. Okay, I had to get my story out of the way so we can get to this fart story, because I'm immature and I love potty humor, and all I know is that it involves a fart, and I think that's hilarious. So, you guys have some type of audition story. I don't know whose audition was it?
It was Shannon. So I'll let Shannon tell the story, and I'll kind of just like chime in.
Okay. It was an audition that I had, and it was for some kind of yoga product. Do you know how vague those auditions, you know, casting notices can be? Of course, the cat right now chooses to go in front of my camera. Okay, goodbye, cat. Okay, so one of those yoga products, there was like 6 different roles or something like that, and you know, I chose to film as many as I could to send to them, and it was one of those like
self-tape.
Yeah, that's your question.
Oh, self-tape.
Self-tape.
Okay,
yes.
So I was at your house.
Yes, it was self-tape, and actually I was working in a theater type show where I had a ton of free time during the day, and fortunately lots of empty rooms in which, like literally completely empty rooms in which to film. And all of my castmates would help me film them too. You know, they'd like press record or, you know, help me out with my lines or whatever. So it was great. So one of the roles was farting yogi. And it was supposed to be a girl that's doing yoga while my cat is stepping on my laptop. It was one of those roles where it's a girl is doing yoga and she keeps farting while she's doing yoga. So they liked
this is an actual role, first of all. This is hilarious.
It was a very strange project.
Was it a film or like a web series? It was a web series, wasn't it?
It was like a commercial, right?
I think it was a commercial. Yeah, it was like they were going to use it for. Sorry, I just have to get this.
She just threw the cat. Oh my god.
She's driving me crazy. For anybody that follows me, you might know that we were actually on the show My Cat from Hell a couple years ago.
That's true.
So she is a medicated kitty, but she's due for her next dose soon, which is why she's acting a little crazy right now.
Her cat is famous, you guys. Her cat was on an actual TV show. Like, that's this cat.
She is a cat from hell.
That's amazing.
Anyway, she's lying down. I digress. So I filmed this this farting video, and I had one of my castmates do the farts. Well,
so wait. Me.
Wait, you were the second. You were the follow-up video.
Oh, it was a follow-up. Okay, sorry, I didn't realize that. I'm second choice. Sorry.
You would take 2. So they liked my first audition, and but then they said, "Hey, we're thinking about having this character have an accent. Can you re-record with an accent?"
Oh my
God.
God.
So I was like, sure, whatever, So then I had a day off. I called up Lori. I was like, I have a favor. I need you to help me read for an audition. It requires farting, a lot of farting. She was like, wait, I'm sorry, what? I've done a lot of things, but never been asked to fart on camera. So, and Lori,
let me eat some bean burritos to prepare for it.
You're like, I can do this.
Free Taco Bell for exchange for audition. So yeah, I was supposed to be doing yoga and then farting, and I needed a fart man, and in came Lori Hupp.
Did it actually?
Sorry,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, of course, this is like where it comes into like being like the worst scene partner ever. I was the worst scene partner ever. Because apparently I can't make fart noises to save my life.
Yeah,
or keep a straight face.
We both kept laughing so badly that it took, like, what should have taken maybe 10 minutes probably took an hour to film, just because we couldn't stop laughing. We just had the case of the giggles. And then what we ended up doing is just having me record doing fart sounds on my phone, and then Lori pressing play
Oh my God.
on my phone while we were recording. Anyway, it was a whole thing. I got the job though. So
I was gonna ask, did you actually get it?
yeah, I got the job. I ended up getting one of the other roles, so I didn't have to be the farting yogi, which was kind of nice. I got to be just a regular person doing yoga, and it was exciting. And I even filmed it when I was like 18 weeks pregnant too, because I was pregnant
Oh, wow.
during filming. Yeah.
Wow. So wait, first of all, okay, I have like a lot of things to ask about this.
Yeah.
Lori, I'm sorry, I need to hear your fart noises. And like you said, you can't make a fart noise. Like, didn't you do that as a kid? Like, everyone does that, like, growing up.
Apparently,
judge you.
it's like a skill that like I don't have. Like, therefore, I'm not gonna list on my resume.
The hand thing or in the
Oh, that's
No.
terrible. Terrible.
You're failing miserably.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's why I'm a bad like fart scene partner.
You're fired.
But like, did they actually write this in the script? Like, okay, so your character is Yoga Fart Girl. Did they actually say like, and walk into the scene, fart, and then she says this, fart? Like, did they
Yes.
actually, like, was that written as part of the action?
Literally, it was written in, and then a lot of it was improv too. They were like, have fun with it. And so, you're like doing a pose, and then you fart, and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Let's continue, type of thing like that. So,
Wow. Okay, so is this a
Written.
video like I can like watch and post in like the comments below?
God,
and stuff?
I've never seen it. I filmed it 3 years ago, like almost to the day, actually. And I've never seen it. I wouldn't even know how to find it, honestly.
It's a commercial?
Yeah. Isn't that the way, though, when you're an actor, you film these like random projects and then they kind of go off into the ether, Maybe you'll get lucky finding it on YouTube someday.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, I talk about this often. Like, there's so many projects like on my IMDb that I'm like, oh, never seen it, never heard of that. And I'm like,
Yep.
do all these auditions we auditioned for, like, how many of the projects actually happen? That's what I'm constantly asking myself.
Good question. Especially like when it comes to like web series or like independent films and stuff. Like a lot of times, like I don't even think they ever come together.
Yeah, no, they don't.
I kind of still want to see your audition. You don't have that either. I know you have like
I
a
have
clip.
it on YouTube.
Your audition?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I can probably share the link if you want.
Yeah. I don't know if you could do it on this. I think we can. Can we do it on here?
Yeah, if maybe like put the link in, I mean, I don't know how technology works, but
just fart, just like gassiness, like intestinal like functions.
Yeah, I totally, oh, it was called Gassy Girl.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah, I totally have it. Yeah, I totally have it.
Oh, I want to see your yoga. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, you're doing yoga, and then farting.
I cannot even imagine what it would be like to be on set trying to do that. I mean, how do you even keep a straight face?
Yeah, it's called acting, Caslin. All right, I just texted you the link.
I don't know much about that. I don't know anything like that.
But I think that's like sometimes the hard part about like comedy, especially like if you yourself like find it funny, like preventing yourself like from laughing, like cracking up, is sometimes like really hard.
Oh, I would
I don't even
absolutely
know.
be the Jimmy Fallon of SNL. The like always breaking character, always laughing. Yeah, that would be me.
I always heard that he did that, and it's so funny. Like I watched SNL, but I guess I didn't watch it enough to realize that he was always the one sort of being the cute one, messing up the scenes. But I did hear he is kind of that person.
He was famous for that. Like if I was ever in a scene with like Will Ferrell, there's no way I'd be able to keep a straight face with him. No way.
I don't think so either. Like, especially I laugh at my own stupid jokes all the time. I don't even think I could handle being involved in somebody else's joke and not laughing and keeping a straight face. Well, I love it. I can't wait to watch this video. You're gonna have to send it to me, and I'm gonna post it.
I texted both of them to you, the original and then the one that I filmed with Lori. Yeah, Lori, I sent them to you too.
Oh, this is amazing.
For your viewing pleasure.
Do you guys keep your auditions, your self-tape auditions? Like, do you have a folder where you keep them to kind of like go back and look at them?
Mine are on, like, most of the time, if it's a self-tape, I've uploaded it to YouTube with a private, like, unlisted link so that they only can be seen by the casting people. Although what's really frustrating is when you spend so much time recording an audition and you send it and then there's no views on it, which means the casting director didn't even watch it. And you're like, I spent so much time doing it. That drives me crazy.
I'm trying to like relax myself because I feel like I just went through that. Like what I was saying, we put so much time into these auditions and you set aside time and you're not, sometimes you take off work and it's the equipment and the time and other people's time too. Like if your kids and your family, you're not spending time with them, and it's a whole big thing for everybody. And to you to not even look at it, like, it drives me bananas. And I'm like, I know you haven't looked at it because there's no views. And also, I've been doing Dropbox, and I just recently noticed that Dropbox now sends emails to me saying so-and-so hasn't opened the folder yet. And I'm like, why did y'all ask for this deadline if you're not going to open it? Like, oh.
So wait a minute, does that mean that, like, if you don't get that email, then does that mean that they actually did open it?
I think so, because I've gotten a couple lately when I, on Dropbox, there's a little option to share, and I put their email in there. I've been getting emails saying, would you like to resend it because so-and-so hasn't opened it yet? So I'm assuming that if they have opened it, that's why I wouldn't get it. So, yeah, that's super frustrating.
I know that most of my like self-tape auditions like lately, like they've specifically requested like downloadable versions, so it like has to be like through like Dropbox or Google Drive or like emailed to them like directly or something instead of like YouTube, like where they can't download it.
I know WeTransfer usually has they usually send a link when the file has been downloaded as well. I'm always personally nervous that my emails are going into the spam folder, and they probably are, for all I know. That's just what I'm worried about. Sometimes we get these auditions and I'm like, what is this? Like, what? Did y'all read this before you sent it to me? You know what? I just had an audition, and it was the most like racist fucking audition I've ever read in my life. It was for an Asian character, and they like wrote out the accent as opposed to just casting someone with an accent. And it was a Chinese character. Like, and they were like, you better do this, or you someone. And I was like, holy shit, they actually wrote, yes! And it was a faith-based film. And I was like, I can't believe they wrote this out. And then my character goes, oh, I'm sorry, Song Lee, I don't speak Chinese. And I was just like, I cannot believe you guys actually wrote this down. Like, you can write it and then have someone with an accent read it. But I was just like, wow, like.
I was working on I was actually helping cast a web series that never came to fruition. And the casting director, or not the casting director, the creator was kind of clueless. and I think it was a Russian character. And so he wrote the dialogue, but like you said, like with the accent, like written into it. And I was like, no, you just write the words and you let the actor add the accent. Unless there's like a word you want specifically said a certain way.
You could do that on set too.
Yeah, don't write dialogue with the accent written in. That's really strange.
Yeah, I had never ever seen that.
I mean, I can understand like if it's a situation like where it's like certain words or phrasing that like is used by like certain types of people, like as far as like doing like a Southern accent and like you write in like
y'all,
yonder or y'all or something of that nature as opposed to you all.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. No, he was like writing out the actual like phonetic.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. And so I had to cope because I was the casting director. I'm like, I'm just going to rewrite this script for you real quick.
Yeah. I just had my reader, she was reading with me, and because like these sides I think were like, I don't want to say fucked up, but fucked up because they were writing the accents out. My reader was my friend and she's Asian and she's like, do you want me to read this? I'm like, no, we're not even going to do it. We're just going to stop right here and I'm just not doing the rest of the scene. Like I didn't even do the rest of the scene because I was like, I don't even feel comfortable having you read this. I don't feel comfortable having anybody read this, not to mention like my Asian friend who was helping me read the audition.
Actually, it's kind of funny that you had an Asian friend that you recall.
Well, it's so hard to find people to be a reader sometimes. Like, and I know that there's apps and stuff like that to do it now. But I also I don't want to pay $15 to have someone else read every single audition I have. Like, y'all, I'm gonna be broke.
Yeah,
I actually. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what I've done recently, I did a self-tape of a script in, I think it was March, and the script was 10 pages long, and there were like scene changes, and now it was mostly a narrator talking, but there was occasionally another character that would interject one line or something here and there. So I kind of just edit out that part, or I'll say, oh, you want to know how I did this? So I kind of like say their line, or I get across what they're trying to say without actually needing another character to say it, because ain't nobody got time for that at all.
Yeah, it is interesting. Sorry, I was just gonna say, sometimes you see these like sides and you're like, I get that they want to see your reactions, like I understand that, but sometimes I'm like, why would you have 4 other characters and me? Like, could we just make it either shorter or write something else, or like maybe another sides?
Yeah.
No, a lot of times, like, I mean, like, especially some of these latest auditions, like, that I've had, like, self-tape auditions, like, it's, like, literally just the entire, like, commercial script, like, verbatim, like, with all the what's the word I'm looking for? Like, the mock-up, what is it?
Actions?
The treatment?
Yeah, the treatment. Yeah.
But like, so it's like they do all like the picture slides and everything in there, and like I'll have like one line at the end, but it's like all these like motions, like she sits on the couch, she goes to the door, she does this, and I'm just like, how am I supposed to self-tape this?
And we don't need to see you sit on the couch. Like, we're pretty sure you know how to sit on a couch,
Yeah, some really interesting sides.
Yeah, and especially like the scenes that have like a lot of lines by like other roles, I've actually ended up recording them, like voice recording them, and playing them back while I do mine.
I've done that too.
Yeah. I've done that. To be honest, I've actually booked a job doing that before, which I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I actually booked this, because I'm reading with myself on the computer. But sometimes I find
that good of an actor, Caslin.
So good. But sometimes I'm like, gosh, I had to do this like 15 times because I kept overlapping with myself in the computer. And it gets really frustrating sometimes. So that's my little issue with self-tapes. Maybe I'll have a whole episode on self-tapes.
Oh yeah. It's like a whole another like coordination thing. It's like you need to know like the technical aspect of it, like the lighting, like the background, like
absolutely. And then I had to learn how to like get a teleprompter app on iPad. Actually, Caslin, I think you were the one that told me which app to use.
Yeah, I was like, I have teleprompter app. I love it. Yeah.
But then, like, you know, you have to get the rhythm right, and then it's like the words are going too fast, or the iPad wasn't hearing me, so I couldn't, like, it wasn't listening. So it was such a pain. It took me so long to film that thing. Yeah. And I didn't even get. Well, I don't know if they ended up filming it because it was like right at the beginning of the quarantine. Yeah.
So anyways, thank you guys for sharing your story. How can we, like, what are you guys doing now? Like, Shannon, what are you up to? How can we follow you? Tell us all the good stuff.
I'm trapped in quarantine, much like the rest of you. And I have a 2.5-year-old, so I am very busy with her, chasing her around. Although she has actually worked quite a bit in her short life on this planet. She and I filmed a Burlington ad last year together, and she did a commercial for Honest Co. diapers, and she did like a print shoot for Halloween costumes for kids.
Wow.
She's very busy, but right now, you know, there's nothing much going on. You might see me walking around my neighborhood. It's very exciting.
I was going to ask you, like, and I wasn't sure if I should make that like a separate podcast. Now that you have a toddler, there's opportunities for family commercials and all these like new things. Is that something that you guys are into, or if it like just happens to come up?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cozy, my daughter, her name is Cosette. We call her Cozy. She is very outgoing. She loves people. She has a really great temperament, so she's actually really good on camera, whereas some kids are just super cranky. They don't like strangers.
That was me as a kid.
Cozy's a great kid to get into show business. You know, I don't know if I want to keep doing. I think as she gets older, we'll see how it goes. I never want to force it. I personally want her to be a doctor when she grows up, so fingers crossed on that one. Mm-hmm. We're trying to press that one, but for now, she can film a couple things here and there, and we put it all in her Coogan account and her college fund.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Yeah. I only met Cozy one time, but I was like, oh my God, she's like the sweetest little child ever. So yeah. Good job, Mom.
Yeah. She's a good kid. And Caslin, you were the last person I partied with before I found out I was pregnant.
It's true, you guys. We had this whole conversation, and she's like, I just want a baby. And we had no idea at that time that she was, going to have a baby.
I found out the next day I was pregnant. I was only 4 weeks pregnant, so it like just happened. But we had a good time at the Gwen Stefani concert.
For free. I'm almost like thinking like maybe next time we go to a show or have a concert, you'll have another baby.
Oh God.
I was gonna say, like, that's the whole planning process is like, especially if you're having trouble getting pregnant.
Yeah, I know. Just like hang out with Caslin, go to a concert, have a couple too many glasses of wine, and then bam.
Yeah, that's not exactly how you have the baby and stuff, but you know, situation. And so how can we, if we wanted to like follow you and stay in touch, keep in contact, how can we do that?
Well, I'm not on Instagram that often, but when I am, my Instagram with Cozy is Preggers19, Preggers 19, and then my personal Instagram is sfreyer19, SFREYER 19.
Yay! Yeah, I'll have to post this in the comments below. And Lori, so you're still in Kentucky, right? At the moment.
I am still in Kentucky at this point, yes.
But yeah, so Lori is from LA. She's just in Kentucky because, you know, nothing's going on in the world right now. And I see you posting dance videos all the time.
Yes, I am trying to make the most out of my time, like here. Just out of my time, like in general. But since like there's still mostly a lockdown in Los Angeles and really like not a whole lot of work or ability to even like go do things or hang out like with my friends or anything, then there's not a whole lot for me to do there. So like I decided to come spend it with my family. So making the most of it.
And she gets to ride horses and run around a farm and
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I saw that and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm pretty jealous right now. Like, she was jumping off some cliff into the water the other day and then she's riding horses. So cool. I feel like.
And filming TikTok videos too, which are exciting to watch.
Yeah, I feel like this is a time where, like, usually as actors, like, you don't want to leave town because you're going to miss an audition. You don't want to, like, go and do that because you want to save your money for headshots or whatever the case is. I feel like now's the opportunity where you're like, well, nothing else going on, so you might as well just do all these trips in America because we are currently banned from everywhere else. And that's really challenging for myself. I know a lot of people. So if you have any, like, local trips, this is the time to do it. And how can we find you, Lori?
So you can find me on Instagram, which I am on there pretty much daily. It is the Laurie Huff, so TheLaurieHuff. So and then my name. Same handle for TikTok. If anybody's on TikTok, you can come find me there. Same handle. And of course, on YouTube, again, like my web series is Bitter Party of One, and that is the number one. So Bitter Party of number one.
Are you writing any more web series during this time period?
I am definitely like still writing a lot. Like I'm actually like doing like a little bit more like stand up and like kind of like venturing into like other things. Especially for the web series, like I already have a lot of stuff like written out and like pre-planned, but I don't have the opportunity to film it yet. Because it takes other people in productions, which are still again like not really allowed, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have a quick question for you guys. Totally off topic, but how do you feel about, so yeah, like I mentioned, we are in the quarantine right now. How do you feel about people filming on set right now? Like, I've seen a lot of pictures and people are on Instagram, and sometimes I'll see like 12 people on set and 2 of them are wearing masks, and it really frustrates me. And I don't know if I'm just like a mask Nazi or something like that, but I feel a little frustrated that I'm sitting my butt at home and everyone else is just kind of carelessly like filming your independent project that no one's ever going to see. I don't know if that was harsh or not. That was pretty harsh. I know. I'm sorry, guys. But like,
No.
How do you feel about that? I think it's quite frustrating.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. And especially like I'm in LA. I saw a pretty big production filming by Griffith Park the other day. I mean, there was like at least 6 like big production trucks. And as far as I know, I have a couple of friends that have been on a few productions here and there, but everybody has to get tested beforehand and make sure that they test negative for COVID. But of course, the tests aren't always accurate, and you can test negative if you've recently contracted the virus and it's just not showing up in a test yet. So nothing is 100%. But it's hard. Everybody wants to get back to work. I get it. I mean, my husband works at MGM, and they had to stop filming a Sylvester Stallone movie. They still have 30 days left of shooting that. And sorry, the cat is in the way again. So they are trying to figure out how are we going to finish filming this. But those are obviously like huge productions, and they don't know how they're going to do it. And then productions like Jurassic World, they within like the first week of shooting, like 3 crew members came down with coronavirus.
Wow.
So it's just not safe. And obviously the actors can't wear masks,
right,
unless it's written into the scene. But we don't all want to watch a movie where everyone has masks on. That's like our world right now.
Yeah.
It's lose-lose right now, I feel.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, gosh, that's so selfish. But then there's the other part that's like, yeah, I'm an artist. I'm itching to get back to myself. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm like on the fence, but it definitely kind of frustrates me. So
yeah.
I'm almost thinking that it might go back to, like when like production studios like used to have like contracts and like multiple year contracts like with the same people. And like they would just like move you around to like different parts like in different productions.
Yeah.
Like I almost like think that it might be better to like go back to like that version to where not only do you know that you have like guaranteed work for like a year or whatever like the length of the contract is, but like you can treat it like the sports teams are doing like right now, like where you quarantine those people just together and can help to keep it a safer space that way.
And that's what Tyler Perry is looking into at his studios in Atlanta. And everybody like crew, cast, everybody would all live together, like on his little compound, studio place. Everybody would get tested regularly. But yeah, all it takes is one person to go to a strip club like that,
go to the bar.
and get coronavirus and get everybody sick and then shut everybody down, and that's millions of dollars. So it's not a great situation we're in.
I actually kind of like the idea of a studio system if you get a contract. If you don't get the contract, it feels like you're just kind of hanging outside the club, which is can be really difficult. Well, times are how they are right now. Let's bring some positivity back to it. And for our moment of positivity, hang tight. Yay. There it goes. I was having a problem. I was pressing the button and it just was like flashing, but no music or sound was coming out. And so every episode, I like to kind of end it with a little bit of positivity because auditions are hard. It's hard to do self-tapes. It's hard to be a reader sometimes. Apparently, it's hard to make fart noises. But
At least for me.
Not everybody else, just me. Yeah, you're gonna have to go work on this because I mean that was my childhood. Yeah. Anyways, well, you're gonna bring the positivity here. Shannon, I'm gonna give you the honors if you have any moments of positivity, a quote, any good that you make out of the situation or the story. We are listening.
Yeah, I just want to say, so I went to college, I studied music theater there, so I have my BFA in music theater, and one of the best things that I learned about auditioning in college was knowing that the casting team is on your side and they want you to do well. They want the next person that walks into the room to be the person that they give the job to. They want to stop looking. So if you know that they are totally on your side, they're rooting for you to be as awesome as you possibly can be, then just, take a deep breath, do the best that you can, and know that they're on your side.
Yeah, it's a team and you're not in this alone and people want you to do well. I don't know why it's so difficult for us to feel that way, but everybody wants you to do well. There's just this idea of like, maybe it's just got to be the pressure we put on ourselves.
Yeah, they're not judging you like we feel they might be judging us. Mm-hmm. So they want you to be awesome. So just be awesome.
Just be awesome. Any comments, Lori? Do we agree with that?
I do agree with that. I mean, like it is a situation like where obviously it's very hard to realize that sometimes, because I mean, like we don't necessarily get a lot of interaction like with the casting directors and anything of that nature. So sometimes it feels like we have like all these hurdles to like jump over, and that it's almost like an impossible task to like try to give them like what they want. But you just have to kind of like remind yourself, like take a step back and remind yourself, it's like, no, they're trying to help you. So yeah, just listen to their instructions and do the best you can.
You know what? You just made me think of something. You said, give them what they want. Sometimes I feel like they don't know what they want, but you have to do the best performance. And maybe they're like, that's what it is I wanted. They just didn't know it yet, or they didn't know how to say it or express it, or they didn't quite have it clear. So, yeah, you just got to do good. Well, I love those guys. I'm so glad we got to do this. Thank you for joining me on my podcast and the crazy fart story. You guys make sure... That was good. That was good. It's like I can't do it because I have like lip gloss. It's like I feel like now I have to do it.
Let's just go out and fart noises, like all of us at the same time. Ready? Like.
You're welcome, guys, listening. Make sure to follow us. Follow Lori. Follow Shannon. Follow me, Always Acting Up, on YouTube, podcast platforms. And you guys, have a good day.
Thanks, Caslin. Love you.
Bye. Love you guys.
Oh my God. People are going to listen to that and they're going to be like, what was I just listening to?
Oh, sorry.
What was
Girls
that?
are so immature. No.
You know what's funny is people are always like, girls are always like really mature, but no, I think we like to joke around and laugh just as much. We're pretty silly once we're comfortable.
I never thought farts were funny until I had a kid, because now cozy. She calls it them toots. And she goes, I just tooted. Like every time she farts now, she has to tell me that she just tooted.
I think it's hilarious.
And I get her to toot on Dino. I say, go toot on Daddy. And she like backs up. Like she actually walks backwards and she goes like that with her mouth. And she toots. I tooted on Daddy. And it's hilarious.
I was like, I'm sure he loves that. I'm sure he's like,
Now
thanks. Thanks, Mom. That's awesome. I cannot wait to watch this video. And I don't know if I'm just going to post it in the comments or if I'm going to put it in this video.
It's like one pose and a fart noise.
Yeah.
They're pretty funny. But Lori, I sent it to you too. I wonder if you can hear. Wait.
Oh, yeah, I have it here.
Sorry, Mexican food, am I right? I mean,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's amazing.